We, the descendants of Charity Davis Caesar Broady, want you to know that we are grateful for this recognition. Recognition and acknowledgement of a history that has been a part of the fabric of the Miami Valley for 220 years. Recognition and acknowledgement of a history that has ensured that a history ignored does not become a history denied. So how do I sum up 220 years and counting since her arrival here in the village of Dayton? As the fourth great-granddaughter of Charity Broady, to say that I stand here on the shoulders of generations, it is not a metaphor. To say that the confluence of the Stillwater, Mad, and Great Miami rivers merge with blood from our veins, sweat and tears of heart-crushing disappointments, it is not hyperbole. 220 years. Where do I begin to tell the story? My mother's children recite like the Lord's Prayer. Between 1802 and 1804, John Davis, an enslaved man from the area of Louisville, Kentucky, brought his infant daughter, Charity, to the Miami Valley that is Dayton, Ohio. Her mother was full-blood Cherokee. She was deceased, perhaps by smallpox or in childbirth. But it is because of this Native American nativity that Charity could never be enslaved. Recent family connections reveal an oral history that confirms what the Dayton Daily News reported in an 1899 article describing her death. They report that she was of African and Native descent. We have further learned that she was born during a Native American resettlement, Kentucky's 16th, 17th century sort of trail of tears. Charity Broady's existence teaches us that we are not defined by our roots, but we are strengthened by them. We are not defined by the conditions of our existence, conditions that determine how we earn our living. A financial advisor is a carpenter, a broadcaster and historian and archivist, and a child bride, a washerwoman. This cast iron tool of her trade is among our family's prized possessions. This cast iron helped feed her family, provide aid to fleeing enslaved, and contributed to the building of First Wesleyan, a church that unified this community. A child bride, a lowly washerwoman, was an abolitionist, nurse, and suffragist, all while being a wife to 2 husbands and mother of 13, raising grands and great-grands. You may not have known of her before you came here today, but hereafter, you can never again say that you didn't know. That within her lifespan of 98 years, she and other Black pioneering families during the colonial antebellum period in the first Free State braved pro-slavery mob attacks that for decades ruled the Miami Valley, and that out of the smoke and ashes of the cataclysmic 1841 attacks on Dayton's first Black community called Africatown, that Mother Charity was among those who stayed in this city to rebuild a broken community. You can never again say that you didn't know that on the heels of such violence, She defiantly participated in Dayton's Underground Railroad, providing cover and assistance to those who came through the region, fleeing human bondage, seeking the human right to freedom. She was a defining pioneer in service to the Dayton community as a daughter, wife, nurse, abolitionist, mother, and friend. Charity Broady dedicated herself to the protection of the Black citizenry and the unification of her treasured community. Within our family archive, Julia G. Higgins' handwritten story details the life of her great-grandmother Charity, whom she knew well. Higgins writes about the little girl Charity Davis that grew up with the city of Dayton. She writes of Mother Charity's love and adoration for her many friends and the village that she watched become a metropolis. It is quite likely that without the dedicated efforts of Charity Broady, the 1800s mobocracy, the mobocracy that made so many live in fear, might not have survived the terror of hate to become the gem of Ohio. Finally, I must dedicate this award to my mother, Emma Caroline Johnson Smith, and her first cousin, Betty Jane Duggar Ferguson. These women lived to preserve the legacy that will become the legend of Charity's children, because there is value. And today, there is validation in every family story. Be inspired.